we're back. Well, next event to talk about, led road to the NFR, is our Bronc Riders, saddle Bronc Riders.
Classic.
The classic event of rodeo.
Yeah, the classic. I never have really understood what he said. I guess that's because they got their picture on the Hall of Fame.
I think it's just, it's how rodeo kind of started. Who was the best bronc rider on the
I guess
you
had to break that horse before you could rope over.
That's there you
That's
go.
what I've always thought. You kind of had to break. Yeah, you had to break him on there. And you start off with this bronc riding. Somebody made a statement, and we kind of skipped right over the all-around. Of course, the all-around, I think this is the first time. A lot of times the all-around is over.
Before it starts.
But it's over. It's over.
This kid has got a stranglehold on it, man.
Well, I mean, he's got him tripled.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he falls off and bumps his head and somebody wins every round, I think mathematically they can't get him.
No, probably can't.
This Stetson that we're talking about here, like 3 rides don't make a wrong. Yeah. He stepped his bronc. Last year he barely qualified for the finals.
Well, I don't think he did qualify for the finals.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh yeah, he qualified last year in the bronc riding.
Okay.
And
I'll buy that.
We might have to check that out. We might have to Google that, but I'm pretty sure he made the bronc riding finals last year.
Well, he's made it this year, and with not leaving any doubts. He's leading the world, and he. And
have you been watching him ride? Oh my!
He rides everything and looks so good doing it. And I don't care if it's broncs or in the bull riding, but particularly his bronc riding is. He's said himself. He's stepped it up a lot this year, and it's very obvious.
Their daddy rodeoed with me, and there wasn't a nicer guy in the world, and these kids seem to be the same way.
Yeah, sure do. Sure seem to be that way.
And, Ryder's right there on his tail. You got 2 brothers going at each other, and they pull for each other. Just it don't matter who wins. It's like they rodeo in one truck with one bill.
I know. I think everything comes out of the same pot. Yeah, we got these 2 brothers, and got a 3rd brother in there too down there that just squeaked in. But
no, Stetson's not a brother. That's
Rusty.
Cody's.
I'm sorry, you're right. They're not brothers. All right, we got to fix that.
There we go.
Yeah, but there's 3 rights at the end.
There's 3 rights, and and I'll tell you another thing too. There is 10 years ago, we was talking about I was rodeoing with Mary and stuff like that. There wasn't a Canadian a couple of them years even made the national finals.
Oh, and
look at all the Canadians. The Canadians have been great in the bronc riding the whole life, and now all of a sudden, Roddy's boys are back, and with Dawson and a lot of them boys from up there, that Leighton Green.
Yeah, Dawson's out for the year. He's already out.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I didn't have that news. I didn't get the memo. So he's crippled. He's not going to be able to compete at
he's going to be at the NFR.
Oh, okay. Well. Okay, let's look. Who does that bring in then?
But that's something we'll have to check.
We need to Google. We got a couple of times we got to Google that, and we'll get back to you with more details. We'll Google them and get that. But if it is in that K. Thompson, he's another Canadian. They replaced a Canadian with a Canadian, and this boy right here riding. Mm-hmm. And he's 16th and didn't make it.
Well, this is another thing like our bareback riding. Just a huge contingent of great bronc riders out there right now, and I'm talking about young kids that can ride as good as anybody ever.
I think so too. I talked to Bud Monroe the other day about that because he rodeoed in an era. You had Brad and Hawkeye and Clint, Bobby Brown, and all them guys. I always like to have a class. Who's the greatest steer wrestler that never won the world? And I think you just mentioned that's probably the greatest bronc rider that never won the world's Hooter.
Sure.
I mean, you could which, and there's a couple more in there you could put in there with them. But I mean, there's a lot of these guys, and Cody DeMoss might be one of them too. What has he been runner-up 7-8 times now? He's getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, but he's made it again. He's
made it
back
again, and he's got the experience, and he can ride them rank horses. Mm-hmm. He's proved it too.
Exactly.
And Wade Sundell made it in there. He has not missed many licks, and
boy,
he gets off them horses and gets to listening for that crowd at the finals. He gets pretty tough.
I know it. Exciting guy to watch.
Tegan Smith, he's a rookie from out there in Winterset, Iowa.
But a protege of Wade Sundell.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
No, they all grew up right there. There's another one, Riggin. It's his cousin.
Smith, yeah.
They're not brothers. But my personal favorite is because I picked this boy up there, and why Cowboys just pulled by each other. Me and Mary was leaving the rodeo over there, Belfast, South Dakota, and we're headed to Cody. And I looked over the side of the road. There's a pickup truck and a camper off in the ditch and stuff like that. They've done hit a deer.
Oh, no.
And the deer went through the water line in the truck, and and they're not going nowhere. And I guess there'd been several rigs go by there, and nobody stopped them. Me and Mary picked up Wyatt Casper and took him over there to Cody that day, and they had a bet between him and Mary who would win the most. Had to buy dinner that night, and we got to know that he's a great young man, got a great family. He won all that money at the American, went and bought him a place up at Pampa, put his money away, welded him a fence. He's a great kid, and I just got a pull for Wyatt.
Well, listen, I pull for him too. He's a good kid, I know. But man, there's another guy that I really pull for, and got to beat a few years back is Brody Crest. Man, that guy is tough as nails. He can ride broncs. Won Cheyenne 3 years in a row. Yeah. I mean, how could you bet against a guy like that?
Well, and you can't take Zeke out of the deal. I mean, Linda Lou, his mom, and his dad. I mean, I've known him when he wasn't
perennial,
around.
Perennial winner.
Yeah, I've known his mom and his dad. Linda Lou carried the flag up there at Calgary, and his dad was made the finals several times in the bronc riding. And not to say he's passed that torch on. I think he's got 2 or 3 buckles.
Well, again, just looking at this list, man, I've never seen a stronger top 15 bronc riders going into NFR.
And once again, we talked about the bronc riders, the horses and the bears. I do not know, and we don't have the stats because the stock list is not to us right now, and we'll get back to y'all with more details on that. They've made a lot of changes. Virgil has moved to the bronc riding this year. Now, I don't know if they're going to vote him in for a bronc at the finals, but he was a perennial bareback horse of the year.
Oh, certainly.
They've done the same with Killer B. Killer B, I mean, where's he going to end up? Is he in the Bears? They've had him in the Bears some, and they've had him in the Bronx some.
I just want to make sure he ended up not in my shoe.
No doubt. They had a deal on Facebook the other night said, if you was in the bareback riding, what horse would you going to get on? And they went with Graded, Coconut, all these great horses, and I commented Little Dan.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, he wasn't as smooth as everybody made him look.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, what about Tom?
Extremely strong. Tom Thumb, he was awful good. I never got to get on him, but he looked like a piece of cake.
I don't know of any of these broncs that I'd want to get in, and boy, I tell you what, as a competitor, it was getting to be that way. I don't mean this ugly, but I'm going to say it. The Bulldoggers would go down there and really want to know the night that the Eliminators were out in the bronc riding.
Oh, yeah.
Because bronc riders today and back then, they don't hit the ground a lot.
No, they used to never hit the ground. Yeah. Really.
And so,
but boy, you watch a pin of those Eliminators.
Yeah, and some of them boys are getting out there, they're picking their hat up like that and going down there.
They put you down.
And I guarantee you, it's fun for us because you get to see a bunch of guys that never hit the ground. So tonight, they're going to be about 7, 8 of them hit the ground, and some of them going to hit the ground hard. Now, it's not like we were sadistic down there, but we just... No. It's like my football coach. Hey, I'm not advocating dirty play, but if a hand's there on the field, don't go out of your way to miss it.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't like to see a great wreck?
All right. Well, after that, I guess we're just cruising through this list. We'll get back to you with this calf roping going to be something.
It is.
It's going to be something. We'll get back after that.
We'll be back.